Welcome to the first official Elverian Minecraft elections on the Creepers Lab Minecraft server. We are glad to have everyone join and participate in the electoral process. Let's begin with introducing our electoral candidates. We have a series of candidates participating from both the Creepers Lab and Elverian. Our candidates are Woody, Nicholas, Twisted, Graham MC, Andrew Downing, and Lord Itachi. The election process will go as follows. For the first round of elections, everyone will have 2 votes they are able to cast. One is for a primary candidate, and the other is for a secondary candidate. You are not able to vote for yourself or vote twice on the same candidate. Our first candidate to be shown today is Woody Exist, a first SMP Minecraft member and a former SUI leader.
But yeah, Jake's a server, that was something.
So, with your experiences on the past server, how would that influence what you do as president on this server? Because you were previously someone's right-hand man.
Yeah, well, I've seen everything firsthand. I've seen people die, I've seen people rise up, I've seen people die because someone rose up, and I've seen both the negatives and positives of both sides, of people trying to do good for presidency and people doing it more selfishly, but for good intentions. I want to take the good intentions, and I want to actually have those good intentions. I think that I can use what I've seen, what I've learned, to be a better president than any of the versions of the servers I've ever had.
Shark was a leader. He led every nation that I was a part of, and he was really something. It all started when I, of course, lived in a shack on the border of the communist fortress. And, well, over time with missions, I would grow closer, with the notable one being the bombing of the first presidential election, to which I was a casualty in. I wasn't great at being a bad guy, but I tried and I didn't want to let anyone down, so I would keep going. After Shark's unfortunate arrest, I would run and make a home, to which after he was released from prison, he would come down, he would check on me, and it was really nice. Eventually I sold him a house that one of my friends Mooney made after he vanished for 2 months. It eventually led to conflict, and after I lost everything, he would give me shit. He would make sure that I didn't hate Minecraft, and I really appreciated that. Though, I would argue much more that on the second SMP, it was a lot more impactful. Me and him were basically co-partners because of a lot of events. Despite me turning against him for a short period of time, I'd eventually come back after he was left on his own. He would come to me and we would form a proper version of the SUI. Now, it wouldn't be as strong as he hoped, since it was only me and him, but we would make it work. We would fight people who fought against us, and he would just be kinda inspirational. It's really, oh god. I kinda sound like I'm again on my hands and knees and begging to him, but it kinda was like that. I was his co-lead. I did things, he did things, he would run everything through me. There was a system and it worked. Honestly. And through all these experiences of, well, watching leaders fall, him rise up, I can use all of this to help boost myself. Because that's why I'm running. Unfortunately, Shark was banned from the server, and it fucking sucked. And I was really bummed. But that's why I think I want to be president. It's so that I can bring his image, what he wanted to bring to the table, to light, and not have to go through warfare just to finally bring it to fruition.
Thank you very much, Woody. I look forward to hearing your speech later. We will now move on to our second candidate, Nick, who is a former SUI member and a second SMP member.
Oh, so I joined second SMP and joined SUI, and it was around when they had their second or third base, and after watching SUI collapse and Shark's basically neglect and unknowingness of how to run a country properly, basically, like, he was not good at it at all, to be honest. But yeah, that's my history. I was with SUI during the Reformation too, but that's about it.
So what exactly made you want to run? Like, does anything from your past make you want to, like, do anything, or?
Well, after seeing, the collapse of SUI and everything like that, I feel like I have enough experience to know how to run a country.
Like, you've seen what not to do.
Yes, exactly what not to do.
All right. And what are some things you would like to say to your opponents?
Bo is very, how do I put this nicely? Very pressed. Gets very pressed easily. And, Twisted is Twisted.
Yeah, what makes you a better pick than the other candidates?
The other candidates, I feel like, do not have enough experience. Like, I know Woody was with SUI and was close with Shark, but I don't feel like he was on enough to learn from the mistakes of SUI.
Mm-hmm. And then, in terms of Twisted, right? You said Twisted is Twisted.
Twisted was never on.
Yeah, but her vice president, as we know, is going to be Simon. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Simon collapsed his own country to make a new country. That's how I feel about that. That's how I feel about that.
Yep. And that is how Elveria was born in the second SMP. From the ashes of the Sand Kingdom. All right. Well, thank you for talking with me. We're going to be moving on to Twisted here.
Alright, it was a pleasure.
Now introducing our third candidate, Twisted Sister. She was not a member of SUI nor EOI. Instead, she was on the founding council of Elveria within the second SMP, and was an old citizen of the Sand Kingdom before its reformation. Alright, Twisted. Would you like to give me a quick, rerun on your history in the SMP, starting from the first?
Well, my whole journey, especially on the second SMP, was basically watching World War III unfold. Everyone within their little groups were fighting each other. But in the first SMP, it was the first time I'd ever really played Minecraft, and I know Shark and Woody gave you the point of view of the SUI and EOI, but I was a part of something different, something new. In the beginning, I'd moved in with an old friend whose name is Nelly, but that quickly changed when we had to move with Simon in the desert, and that was later known as the Sand Kingdom. But after moving to the Sand Kingdom, we were constantly being threatened by the SUI. This caused us to constantly be on the move, trying to hide and not get killed, but all we wanted was to call somewhere home.
Sounds like
and
you
with
went through a
that,
lot.
yeah, with that, I experienced quite a few misfortunes that included how Shark was the head council member of the first formed Elveria. A few of the events that I went through was how Shark was the head council member of the first formed Elveria, but he decided to work with Jakes, and he ended up betraying Simon and killed him. And then Nelly and we were kidnapped by members of the SUI, but we managed to escape, and we made it back to Simon, but we didn't want to stand there and do nothing. Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Oh.
What?
So, you, really didn't have a good experience with them, did you?
No, I really didn't. Being on the other side of things, you could tell that there was constant betrayal between members, and you could tell how unstable the SUI really was. And the funny thing about that is that Woody and Nick were both members of the SUI. So what does that really tell you about them? I know that with Simon as my vice president, I would be under the guidance of someone who had built something way more stable than the SUI. And because nothing ever happens like that in the Sand Kingdom. And if it did, it was because of the SUI. So I think that finally having that stability and peace is important as a president. Simon started this journey mostly on his own, but I want to help finish it and help Elvira thrive better than before. I was a victim, but now I want to be a hero.
Woohoo.
Now you just gotta cut out that middle part.